Hi and welcome. My name is Johnny again. I'm from All Total Coaching. What I want to talk to you today is what the lockdown really means individually for you. So today I'm going to look at your perception over your reality and how you cope with your perception and your reality, and that is going to make you excel or get desperate or depressed and suicidal. But before we start, I'm the author of How to Be a Man, What Your Father Never Taught You. We talk in this book on the following topics: manhood, what is to be a man; women, relationships and sex; media, manipulation, indoctrination via the movies; health, food and exercise and why it's so important; money, wealth, what you need to know, what you're not taught at school; value, what it is and why it's so important; how to overcome the biggest phenomenon in our generation of depression and fear and suicide; happiness and fulfillment; feminism, the real truth; how to become social, build a great network, keep up, how to maintain your relationships, some of the rules that will save your life, and sources and resources. As you're aware, the book launch is going to be delayed until all this thing clears up. So today, I want to talk about the lockdown. Reality versus your perception, and how you interpret the reality or the perception. Why is it we have somebody that's extremely rich and depressed? And why we have some people that are extremely poor but extremely happy? Because our reality is one thing, but how we perceive the reality, it's what makes us in a good mood or in a bad mood. This lockdown has made a lot of people depressed because they do not know how to cope with the new reality. But the reality, no matter what you talk about it and what it is, it's how you translate that reality, meaning your perception. And your perception becomes your reality. For example, like I mentioned earlier, if one person's got billions of dollars and he's depressed because he thinks he's comparing him to somebody that's got more money, so he's depressed. But the person that doesn't have any money maybe doesn't compare himself to others, and therefore is happy with what he has. It's written in the Bible, who is the happy one? The one that is happy with what he has. And your perception in this lockdown will make you feel like you're in a jail or you're free. Will make you excel because you're utilizing this time to read books, to get tasks done, to whatever that book, that assignment you need to finish, that videos you needed to do, the work you need to do at home. So you'll utilize this time instead of going from one update on TV to the next update and to the next update. And the biggest enemy, I've said many times, is the media. But not only the media, how you perceive your reality. Now let me explain to you something about perceived reality. All of us, including me to some extent, are sad because some of us are more socially included, especially me because I go to salsa and bachata and I haven't been able to go for the last couple of weeks or whatever. But your perceived reality, if you think about it all the time, you're going to be depressed. You have to reinvent yourself. And the lockdown or the lockdown or staying at home is how you perceive your reality. Is this a jail? Or you're going to get things done? Your perceived reality is how you think. 95% of your feelings, it's not what happens to you, it's how you perceived what happens to you. Let me give an example. Two people will have a minor accident. One of them will scream and go on a rant, and the other person will be calm, change details, and will move on and pass on the papers to the insurance companies. It's the same accident, but it's perceived reality. One will make a big deal out of everything, and we all know a few people like that. They make a big deal out of everything, and they're emotionally unbalanced. And one will be upset, but he'll change details more because it's your perceived reality. But it's the same thing happened to the same thing happened to these two people, because how you perceive these things. In this time, don't make your mind a jail. Today I'll share with you a book that will help you break out of this thing. Bear me 1 second. And you can understand, and this will give you strength in these times. It's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Now, if you can find meaning in the Holocaust, where people had nothing to eat, they were killed and murdered. And a lot of people now in this isolation and staying at home gets depressed. Get a copy of this book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It'll blow you away, because the biggest jail is not staying at home and fighting with your woman or man or whatever. The biggest jail is your perceived reality. I've said this many, many times before. The most depressed people in the world are the ones watching mainstream media. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't look at all, but you can look at online and switch out as soon as possible. Your perception of reality is going to determine how you're going to get out on the other side. I'm going to come out the other side extremely fit, because I pushed myself more and more to run. Now, I'm not telling anybody for that matter to run or whatever. But the point is this: if you do not do anything, you're going to start worrying. And if you're going to start worrying, more worry will come to you. And more worry, and more worry. And you're going to share more and more things on Facebook, how things are a disaster, and more disaster, and more disaster, more depressed, and you're going to be on antidepressant. We all know where that's going to end. So my dear friends, the lockdown is not as much as the lockdown and the jail you perceive in your own perceived reality. Break out of it. Read a bit of this book, and it gives you a lot of things that I cannot go now, and so explains to you how your mind works. And my dear friends, if you control your mind or your mind controls you, if you control your emotions or your emotions control you, and you become a slave. And once you're a slave to your emotions, you're going to be addicted to those emotions. And like a druggie that wants a next fix, and next fix, and next fix to no end. If you're in control of your life, or your life is a mess. Now, I'm not saying this is an easy situation we all find ourselves in, but your perceived reality will help you come on the other side better, stronger mentally, emotionally, and more than anything, you can lead and help other people. Because today, majority of people are like sheep. They're pathetic. All they do is watch TV, and they get more and more depressed and more worried. But being worried doesn't solve the problem. Only when you change the way you think, you can empower yourself and the people around you. Because as long as you hold the narrative of the biggest crooks in the world, mainstream media, you are going to be a slave, you're going to be depressed, and there's going to be no hope. And like I said many times in my book, one of the most important things for anybody is hope. And without hope, my dear friends, we are doomed. So please, have a look at this book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. It'll give you lots of ideas, and more than anything, you'll break up out of the biggest jail that you've ever been, your perception of your reality. I really hope I made you think, and even if just one of you get it, I did my duty as a human being. Thank you very much. If you need any help, you want to ask questions whatsoever, johnsosdanny.com. I can change your life. The question is, do you want to? Or are you going to be in jail for the rest of your life and feeling like you're a victim instead of being empowered? It's your life. It's your choice. Thank you very much for listening. As always, you know I'm your friend, Johnny Frickin.